Laundering competition. What do tax the rich, healthcare, and the flat tax have in common? They all end up lowering wages. Our story begins with the dollar. Most only view the numerical quantity of money borrowed and forget there is an associated value, which represents the dollar's buying power. There are two directions the value can go. Inflation means the value drops. It takes more dollars to buy the same stuff. Inflation is the borrower's friend. It means the dollars borrowed have more value than the dollars returned to the bank. Deflation means the value of the dollar is increasing. It takes fewer dollars to buy the same stuff. Deflation is the bank's friend. It means dollars paid against the loan have more value than the dollars borrowed. Deflation is extremely hostile to the borrower. When dollars have more value, they are more difficult to acquire, making loans of any kind extremely expensive and difficult to repay. The discussion surrounding a flat tax must include deflation because that will be the result. For example, Herman Cain's 999 plan will allow workers and companies to keep more of their earned money. Capitalism is watching, and competition demands companies lower their prices to meet their profit percentages. This re-leveling also means lowering wages, including the minimum wage. For example, companies in Florida will argue their salaries are competitive because Florida does not have a state income tax. This means the company has lowered the workers' wages and absorbed their tax benefit. The company will also absorb any benefit to the worker the flat tax might offer. A flat tax will cause a short period in which workers take home more money. During this period, workers will spend like a politician. But all sugar highs are followed by a crash. In this case, lower wages ushered in through a variety of methods. The reason for a flat tax is to clean up the tax code, which is purposely complicated to stimulate industry, increase employment through fictional economy, and give politicians power. One avenue of flushing the IRS impacts college programs. A student in this field finds themselves with a worthless degree and a lot of debt. Colleges might have to close the department and distribute the lost revenue into higher tuition for all students. Part of the lie of college is you must have their paper to prove you are smart. That paper comes from the village, making it relevant. The borrower faces decreased wages and is now underwater in their loans, especially with dropping home prices. They too justify the village by turning to it for help. This is the consequence of the flat tax proposed by Republicans. It is very damaging if not done correctly and patiently. The result is dropping wages and prices, but the quantity of dollars owed on a loan remains the same, making it very difficult to repay. Taxing the rich is promoted by the Democrats. The reverse, lowering taxes, encourages startups and gives small companies a good chance to survive. The mid-sized company can expand and challenge its larger competitors. The large company, requiring many employees, finds a small employment pool drained of talent. The result is higher wages and benefits to court the better workers. This cuts into the profits of the rich, like Buffett. No surprise Buffett wants higher taxes imposed on the rich. Small companies fall into this category as defined by Obama, Pelosi, Reid, and the rest of the Democrat drones. Startups will decrease, and small companies will be crushed under the weight of increased taxes. Mid-sized companies have to pull back. This increases the divide between them and the large companies. The large companies won't pay the higher taxes because they can buy politicians and receive exemptions. The other nail in this coffin is healthcare, also promoted by Democrats. Along with the higher costs associated with the plan, there are limiters in it designed to encourage small and mid-sized companies to downsize based on hours and number of employees. It creates a very large unemployment pool and increases the gap between the mid-size and large companies. The large companies simply buy a politician and receive a waiver. Higher taxes and the single-payer scam both result in greater unemployment, extending the reach of the village by increasing its welfare rolls. Wages and benefits drop. The large companies' profit margins and market share increase while competition decreases. Great for the rich, like Buffett. There is nothing stopping him from paying more taxes. But that's not the goal. He wants everyone to pay higher taxes because it will tank wages. His payoff for supporting Obama's push to tax the rich is the death of the Keystone Pipeline. Instead, the oil from Canada will be trucked in on Buffett's rail lines. That sounds much safer, and at least 10 times slower than the pipeline.